80% of businesses go to market, do not sell. People don't want to buy a business where the business owner is still really involved in the business. Those businesses don't sell. My mission is to make sure that entrepreneurs don't spend a lifetime building something and walk away with nothing.
Your investments or your business, if you're not intentionally building value, you're leaving it to chance, and you don't want to leave it to chance. Chance is not a strategy. John, I wanted to start right where you position yourself because it's truly powerful. You call yourself a value accelerator. What does that actually mean?
Yeah. Well, what's funny about most business owners, and having been an entrepreneur myself and having been in that situation, we're focused on revenue. We're focused on growing. We're focused on keeping everybody paid, everything, going. But we often don't focus on value. The things that create value in a company are not always the things we focus on, right? So in all the work that I do with my clients now, I start with understanding how to create a valuable company, because at the end of the day, entrepreneur, of course, goes into business because they love the work that they do. But at the same time, they want an exit, they want to make money, right?
Yeah.
And the challenge is that 80% of businesses go to market, do not sell.
Right.
Because two main reasons. One is entrepreneurs are optimistic, right? And we always think our business is worth more than it actually is. And there's also no data out there to show you how much your business is. So we have an overinflated sense of value of what the value of the company is. Okay. And we may get that from seeing other sales or golf buddies with other companies thinking we can get the same value, but we may not.
Right.
The second problem is that people don't want to buy a business where the business owner is still really involved in the business.
Right.
It's a huge challenge. And so those businesses don't sell. And so my focus is helping people focus on value and accelerate, and maybe even exponentially accelerate the value of the business. And that's what I do.
Wonderful, wonderful. You talk about building exceptional companies for exceptional lives, right? What's an exceptional company actually look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think about some of the great companies that are out there, right? Apple obviously is one, Google, and some of those other companies. But what makes a company exceptional? And is it only those big companies that can be exceptional, right? I believe we have a responsibility to create companies that are exceptional, right? Because we spend most of our lives there, right? And how do you create a great company? What is a great company, right? Is it just revenue? Is it just profit? Is it high sales, right? But a company, and great companies, and companies actually that are valuable, have a few attributes, right? Of course, they're growing, right? They have a great product. But really what kind of is the real differentiating growth engine of a company is if you focus on building the softer side of the company, right? And many coaches focus on, which is great, getting control, helping people get clarity, control, and systems in place for the company. But the real growth to really increase value and to make an exceptional company is focusing on the people. So it is, I define exceptional company as companies that are valuable, right? For the business owners and for the owners of the company. Number two, has very clear, differentiated strategy, right? That makes them unique and also helps unlock the potential of the company, right? Where are you going that's really going to grow the company exponentially,
right?
Number three is a strong leadership team, right? Because everything in a company goes the way of the leader. Number four is a company where people are not just managed, and a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with accountability because you're trying to manage people that way. What you want to do is engage and unlock people, unlock their potentials, create a place where they love to work, they do their best work, and they enjoy the work and they feel loved. And finally, exceptional companies are companies where you have incredible customer experiences that are unforgettable, that creates that loyalty that you want from your customers, that they love working with you and they're going to tell their friends about you. Again, most coaches and people are focusing on growth of companies are focusing on the financial metrics, the hard stuff.
Right.
I believe that we need to build exceptional companies, which then actually comes back and feeds the financial metrics.
Yeah. Backfeed it, right? Because when I look at this, John, I think in my world in real estate, we see this all the time. A business owner thinks that their company's worth, as you mentioned, is worth X. But when it comes time to sell a home, a transition, a retirement, or other assets, the business value doesn't show up the way they expected it to, right? So how do you define real value versus perceived value?
So it's a great question, right? And it's funny, as a real estate, I often use the real estate analogies in the work that I do, right? And actually, for a while, for fun, flipped houses, right? And so as a flipper, you go in, you kind of understand what people value, what's important to buyers, and you create that, right? And it's the same thing on the business side, right? You have to understand what is valuable to business, to buyers, right? Number one, they want companies that make money. Right. So entrepreneurs oftentimes will focus on revenue, but not making money and making the most money possible for that company. It is a company with a great leadership team, right? Where the owner's not running everything. You have a leadership team that if any one person, for whatever reason, moves on, the company can keep going, because you don't want to buy a company where people are going to walk out the door. You want a company where there's low turnover, and you want strength and diversity and the entire sort of leadership team, right? And different functions in the organization. So you want to have diversity in sales, recurring revenue, right? A sales process and systems across the entire organization. You want to have great people, great culture. You have a great brand, reputation, right? There's actually what I call 4 C's. That people look at. It's not just the numbers, it's the intangibles of do you have the culture? Do you have the right people? Do you have the right systems in place? Do you have the right, sales and marketing process where you've got diverse customers, reliable customers, and the sales process doesn't depend on the owner.
Right. You mentioned something that really stood out to me. You mentioned that owners many times can become the bottleneck. Tell me a little bit more about that.
In every entrepreneur's journey, right, there's a time where you need to learn how to not do everything on your own, right? When you start the company, the company relies on you, right? Sometimes you're the first person and relies on you, and you bring people to help you out. But what happens is that you want to, it's your company, you care so much about it, and you want to make sure everything's great, and you get involved in everything. It's a journey for an entrepreneur, or even from somebody becoming a sole contributor to a manager, to let go of the details. Right, and that transition to let go of the details and then build a team that you can trust and empower, who understand your vision and can carry that vision and that goal forward, and that carry the company forward on their own, is a powerful transition, right? Because if you don't make that transition, you tend to hit a ceiling, right? So we talked about
stagnant growth, right?
Only 0.4% of companies get above 10 million. It's one of the large reasons, because the owner still wants to have their hands in everything.
Gotcha.
And it's crucial to be able to scale past that, to build people you can trust and become a leader, not just a doer or that entrepreneur.
Gotcha. The stat that you mentioned is really staggering. 80% of businesses don't sell. Why is that happening?
Yeah, I think there's 2 reasons, right? One, people go to market, right? And oftentimes it's sort of like they spent years building this company. At some point they just decide they want to sell, but the company's not ready to sell. It's a fixer, right? Some people want to buy fixers. You're gonna get a discount on that fixer, right? And so they get this number that's lower than they think it is. They get a number that's lower than they think it's worth, right? And again, as I talked about earlier, people have an overinflated sense of value. The second piece is no good data out there, right, to understand how much my company might be worth. You can't go to Zillow, and as you know, Zillow is really inaccurate, right? Absolutely. But what's the corollary for businesses, right? And that's actually why I offer a tool for business owners to come and have a session with me, where I have a tool that gives them a sense to how to think about value, what the components of value are, and get a sense for what things need to work on and what the current value approximately is. I call it a Zillow level estimate, because in a quick call we can't get enough detail, but then also tell them what the potential value of the company could be. Now, if they want to go deeper and get a more precise number, we can, but people don't have a sense of value, right?
Gotcha.
And the other reason it's not selling is, as we mentioned before, is that nobody wants to buy a company where when you buy the company walks out the door, because the business owner is still responsible for everything. There's no other people in place, there's no systems in place. It's not a transferable company, it's not ready. Another thing is that people don't have the information ready that people can understand how the company's working. You need to have the data room, the information on the company, it's just not available. People are not ready to sell because they've been working for so many years, and last minute they decide to sell, but it takes time to really sell the business to get it ready for sale. Just like you would with a house, right? People think, I'm just going to put it in the market, and then you come in and say, well, you got to fix all this stuff, and you're not ready to sell.
Get it right, it ready for transferability, right? Yeah, I think that's great. It's interesting because, as you mentioned, in real estate, we prepare homes for sale to maximize value, right? But most business owners don't prepare the businesses, as you mentioned, really in the same way. Should they be thinking about their business like an asset that they're staging years in advance? Is that
absolutely
kind of the thought?
Right?
Yeah.
The other corollary stat that I talk about often is that typically 80 to 90% of a business owner's assets are tied up in that business, right? It's their biggest asset, right? So think about this. All their money's tied up in the business. They spend their entire lives building it, and they go to market and they can't sell. Like, what a horrible place to be.
Frustrating, right?
Sort of my mission. My mission is to make sure that entrepreneurs don't spend a lifetime building something and walk away with nothing. And if nothing else, and this is why this podcast is great, is that it's about education. People are not aware. So there is, yes, preparing the business to get ready for sale. But more important, there's a lot of stuff you can do. Number one, to save money on that sale. There's a lot of tax benefits that you can take advantage of that take 3 to 5 years, actually really 5 years to maximize and mature. So, and so it takes time to put those into place. There are things like the qualified small business stock exclusion. There are things like life insurance and estates. And ESOPs that you can actually write off the entire sale of the business. I just talked to a partner who worked on a deal, was a $60 million sale. Do you know what the effective tax rate was? You want to take a guess?
I would have no idea.
3%.
3%.
3%.
Wow.
Right? And so I literally have had partners tell me, people have walked into the room and said, I just sold my business, here's $20 million, can you help me plan? Right? I mean, imagine how much money they could have saved. They probably paid $7 million in taxes on that. And so there's an opportunity, there's so much that business owners don't know they don't know. And I'm not being disparaging, it's just that there's, even me as somebody who's expert in this, I'm always learning more and more about different ways to help entrepreneurs save money and keep more of that money on the sale. So it is something that you need to spend years thinking about, but it's also not very hard and very complex. You just need to be educated and spend the time on it.
Well, as a business coach, there are a lot of business coaches out there, right? Yeah. What makes you, John, different?
Great question. I think there are a couple things. Number one, in the way I kind of phrase it, there are very few people who have as much experience as I do, right? That I've walked the walk and been a business owner. I've been there. And I've also seen a lot, right? Because I've worked for Fortune 100, Fortune 10 companies and done strategy and launching products and business and operations for them, but also launched my own startups. And I've seen everything in between also. So that experience is very valuable. I'm able to see things that other people can't see. It's funny, I tell a story. My sister wanted to become a divorce coach. And maybe I should say this a little more anonymously. So I'll tell a story that I use as an analogy. One of my friends recently decided to become a divorce coach. Now this person is actually struggling to get their husband to pay for college for their kids. And I'm like, well, first of all, don't you need more than one divorce under your belt to become a divorce coach? Like, experience is important, but there are many coaches out there who come in from different places, who haven't run companies, haven't stood in entrepreneurs' shoes. And I think that's really important. It's one of the first things. I can see things that others can't see because I have so much experience. Right. Number two, I focus on that value. Very few coaches are focused on starting with the value, helping the business owner unlock the value of their business, understand the value of the business to make sure they're getting what they need out of the business to retire or prepare for what's next. And number three is sort of the holistic approach of focusing on building that great culture, the exceptional company that everybody who interacts with it has a positive experience, whether it's the owners and what they want out of it, the owners, the customers, the employees, the investors, right? And many coaches are focused on scale and systems, but not focused on the holistic thing. I do focus on those things too, but very few focus on holistic.
Gotcha. I also know you work with nonprofits, is that right? Okay, which is near and dear to my and my wife's heart through Lazarus House Ministries is one of the boards that I sit on. How does value acceleration translate in the nonprofit world?
So value to me in a nonprofit world is a couple of things, right? Obviously impact, right? How are you doing against achieving your mission? Is it clear? Do you have a good strategic plan? I do a lot of work with nonprofits. People go and they do it out of passion, but bringing that business discipline is important. Having a compelling understanding what you do and a message around what you're doing there to have the most impact possible. How do you start measuring the impact, right, and the return on giving, right?
Gotcha.
People who give love to see those metrics, want to see those metrics and understand that.
Sure, that they bring in value. So for someone listening right now, business owner, an operator, maybe even someone thinking about exiting a business in the next 3 to 5 years, why should they have a conversation with you, John?
As I mentioned earlier, right, my passion for them is to make sure that they don't spend their entire lives building something and walk with nothing. If nothing else, if not through me, get educated. There are resources out there on this, but I'm glad to sit down with anybody and spend an hour so that at least understand what they're working with and what they need to think about, and they can make their decisions on how they want to move forward. The second thing is that, unfortunately, 50% of businesses do not get to the exit.
50%.
Right? Because 50% of businesses get hit with what I call the 5 Ds.
Okay.
Death,
Tell me what those are.
divorce,
Oh,
disease, distress, disagreement. 50% of businesses don't get there. So we've probably all seen it before where something happens, one of those things happens to somebody and the business is lost and the value of the business is lost. And so there are ways to protect that value, right? Buy-sell agreements, protecting the value. Also just extracting value along the way, right? You don't wait to the end to extract the value, I partner with wealth managers to understand what people need, and we try to get the minimum amount of money out that they need to live a sustainable life that's there for them in case something does happen.
Bad shows up, right? Perfect. Well, and what's the next step if someone wants to explore working with you, John?
Yeah, so people can go to my site. They can set up a time. My site is bluetiecatalyst.com. And set up a coaching call, right? I offer an hour complimentary coaching session for qualified, business owners to talk about whether it's value or how to build a great organization. And they can also just email me at john@bluetiecatalyst.com. So it's JON, not JOHN.
Correct. All right, great. We'll have that at the bottom of at the end in the details. John, it's been incredibly valuable. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'll just leave our listeners with this: whether it's your home, your investments, or your business, if you're not intentionally building value, you're leaving it to chance, and you don't want to leave it to chance. Chance is not a strategy. John, thank you for joining us here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.